Hey, what is going on, guys? DK back at you with another video here for the NBA main slate here on Thursday. We got a small three-game slate, but we got a pretty interesting slate. Definitely a better, smaller slate. There's a lot of ways to go. So, real quick though, last night the core plays of Satoransky, Beal, Paul George, John Collins, and Hernan Gomez all did pretty good. John Collins is on pace for a huge game, and then I brought it up in the video. The only way he really wasn't gonna go off was foul trouble, and he picked up his third and fourth foul early in the second half and got limited big time minutes wise. But yeah, all other guys, even John Collins himself did pretty good. So I hope you guys had a winning night there. And yeah, let's look into this three-game slate for tonight. So just looking it over, brief overview. It seems like a lot of guys are underpriced today. So let's start with Harden, who, again, we got basically everyone out for Houston. And this guy has been playing unbelievable basketball here. 40 points in 4 straight games. 40 plus. He's going to play most of the game. The concern is, can Houston keep this game close at Golden State? There definitely is some blowout risk. But if Houston keeps this close, it's going to be because of a huge game from Harden. And he just seems too underpriced still here at 11K. So I really like Harden. And then the Golden State guys, Steph, Durant, DRAYMOND, all seem underpriced here for this matchup here against Houston. So 9.5K. Steph, anytime he takes the floor, he can put up a huge fancy output. So I do like Steph. And then you got Fox, who I think is going to go very underowned on this slate. He's still a little pricey, and he kind of had a letdown game against Portland. Well, other than that, this guy's been putting up huge numbers here, so I'm not, the game's played at home, so I think the Kings keep this close. So I think Fox, for GPPs, he's going to go very underowned, but he still has huge upside here. And then Jamal Murray, so we got Gary Harris back, as well as Millsap, so it kind of mucks up the rotation a little bit here. But, this is a dream matchup here for Jamal Murray against the Kings, so I still think it is doable here at 7.3K. Lowry's listed as doubtful, so that means Van Fleet here is going to pick up another start, but just hasn't really flashed the upside lately. I mean, he's basically going to get you like 20 to 25, so I'm probably going to look elsewhere than Van Fleet. Beasley, so I wouldn't go crazy chasing this 42 fantasy point game. We got Gary Harris back in the mix as well. It's just Paul Millsap too, so I know Beasley's been playing very well here. The matchup is really good against the Kings, but I'm probably going to look elsewhere. I don't know. With Gary Harris back, Millsap back, there's just a lot of guys now in this rotation. But Beasley's been playing some great basketball. So if you really want to play him, the matchup's good. I'm not going to talk you off him. DERRICK White, he's been starting to pick it up here. Rudy Gay, doubtful. So that's a big part of the rotation. Most likely not going to be there tonight. So I think DERRICK White is okay here, 4.7. Austin Rivers. So again, someone else is going to have to step up and help Harden out. Austin Rivers basically been playing the whole game as well. Hasn't really flashed that much upside, but I think he's okay at 4.6K. We do have news that James Ennis is going to be back, so that's going to add another piece to the rotation, so that downgrades all the secondary pieces for Houston a little bit. Monte Morris, one guy that's going to really low owned. Definitely going to be Monte Morris with everyone back. I think the only way he really gets there is with a blowout, so I'm probably going to look elsewhere. See, BRYN Forbes. So again, a couple of these Spurs, Forbes and DERRICK White, have been playing better here lately. Usually they're all priced like below 4K with Patty Mills, and it was one of those three would have a good night. But Forbes, DERRICK White starting to play more consistent minutes and starting to play more consistent basketball. So I think both those guys are okay. And I think this Toronto-San Antonio game goes very underowned tonight. I think the Flocks are going to go to Denver, Sacramento, as well as Houston, Golden State. So I think Toronto, San Antonio are going to go kind of underowned here today. Okay, let's move on to shooting guard. So DeMar DeRozan playing at home, revenge game against Toronto. He obviously was not happy, and he's priced under 8K. Man, I don't like playing DeRozan. I'm not a DeRozan guy. I usually don't play him, but it's going to be hard. Like, this price is really appealing. at home in a revenge game narrative. I don't know. It's DeMar DeRozan looks really appealing here at 7.8K. And you got Buddy Hield. Finally got a price drop where him and Bogdanovich are about the same now. So it's basically right now a coin flip for me with Buddy Hield and Bogdanovich. Both those guys have pretty solid plays. Hield is going to play more minutes than Bogdanovich, but Bogdanovich has been a little more consistent here of late. So I think you could go one of those two guys. KLAY Thompson is kind of the odd man out for the Warriors, for me at least. He is priced at 6K. That is pretty appealing. I would probably rather just play Draymond at a similar price point. And then Steph Curry and Durant seem a little underpriced as well. Let's see. So again, Gerald Green. Again, these secondary pieces for Houston. You could take a shot on one of them. I think one of them's going to have a pretty good game, but James Ennis being back just adds another guy to that rotation. Let's see, IGUODALA. I think he's okay at 4K. He's been very inconsistent up and down. He can put up 36 fantasy points one night. He can put up 4 fantasy points one night. So IGUODALA is kind of inconsistent. And you got Danny Green, also in a revenge game narrative. He used to play for the Spurs. So if you want to play that aspect of it, yeah, Danny Green is just, it's hard for me to play him. He's very scoring dependent, but he could get hot here. So I think Danny Green is okay there. Again, he's got the revenge going for him there. See, Bellineelli. I guess you could with Rudy Gay out of there. Should play right around 20 minutes. If he gets hot, maybe he plays a few more minutes. So 3.4K. I think you could take a shot there if you wanted to. All right, let's move on to small forward. And again, Durant just seems too cheap. I know he's kind of had a couple off games here, but 9.2K for Durant seems a little too cheap. So I do like Durant. And then you got Kawhi. Again, no Kyle Lowry. Kawhi Leonard, also a revenge game here for at the Spurs. So there's a lot of revenge going, actually. We got DeRozan, we got Danny Green, we got Kawhi. So Kawhi, man, 8.8K. That seems pretty cheap. And he's obviously not a fan of the Spurs either. So Kawhi and DeRozan, big time revenge game narratives here. Let's see. Bielitsa. Man, this guy just frustrates me to no end with the minutes with Dave Yeager. Dave Yeager is the woat, man. So he's playing 22, 25 minutes, then out of nowhere just plays 36 minutes. It's just so unpredictable, but every once in a while he's going to play, that's like 35, 36 minutes. So if he's good, it's just a guessing game with him, really. Is he going to play 20 minutes? Is he going to play 36 minutes? If you guess right and he plays 36 minutes, he's most likely going to produce. If you guess wrong, he plays 20 minutes, you're going to get screwed. So it's just like, I don't like inconsistent rotations like that from Dave Yeager, I already hate him enough from what he did a couple weeks ago. Let's see here. So Bertans, with Rudy Gay out, played off the bench, but still played 31 minutes off the bench. So he looks like a pretty appealing value play here. If he's going to play those type of minutes again, it is kind of hard to trust Greg Popovich, but Bertans, like I said, if he's going to play 30-plus minutes, 3.8K is just too cheap for him. Okay, let's move on to the power forward position. And you got Aldridge. Man, Aldridge and DeRozan just seem way too cheap right now. He was playing really, really inconsistent basketball, but now he's starting to pick it up here, and the minutes are what I really like. 32, 38, 36, 36 minutes. Aldridge's been playing. He's been playing great basketball, 27, 24, 38, 32 real-life points. I'm not really afraid of the Toronto defense just because, the price is way too cheap. So I think Aldridge looks really appealing here at 7.4. Siakam, it's just, I like playing him when either Kawhi or Ibaka out, but man, last couple of games here, 41 of 44 fantasy points. So I'm really not going to talk you off him. He's also been playing great basketball. So if you want to go there, like I said, I'm not going to talk you off him, but I really like playing Siakam when either Kawhi or Ibaka are out. And then you got Draymond, who, man, 5.9K. I know he's really been bad shooting the basketball. He doesn't even shoot threes anymore, but I just love guys who fill up the stat sheet. So Draymond, 5.9K. That's just it just seems way too cheap for me. So I do really like Draymond. Ibaka, 5.6. It's been a little inconsistent here, but the Spurs, they're going to run big. They started Jakob Poeltl actually at the 5, so it'll be interesting to see if they start Poeltl again. But Ibaka should be asked to play some pretty decent minutes, so I think he's okay here at 5.6. Rudy Gay, listed as questionable, but they said he's unlikely to play. So we'll wait for final confirmation there. If Rudy Gay does play, then that kind of downgrades DeRozan and Aldridge a little bit. So MILLSAP came off the bench in 22 minutes, put up 34 fantasy points. So I want to wait for news on who's Denver is going to start. If they're going to start like MILLSAP and Gary Harris, then MILLSAP and Gary Harris are way too cheap. MILLSAP at 52 and Gary Harris here at 4,800. Both of them have kind of been limited here because they're coming back from injuries. But if they both end up picking up the start, I would like both of those guys a lot. See, Hernan Gomez, again, with all those guys healthy, I'm probably going to look elsewhere. PJ Tucker should be asked to play some pretty big minutes here. He has, every once in a while, he does have like a pretty solid fantasy point game. And like I said, he's going to play most of the game. So I think PJ Tucker is definitely doable here, 4.2K. Danuel House, I just, with James Ennis back, that probably hurts House the most. So I'm probably not going to look his way today. The last guy I want to talk about here is Harry Giles. So he actually did pick up some minutes against Portland last game. Played 13 minutes, put up 18 fantasy points. So this guy is a fantasy point per minute monster when he gets the minutes. Look at this, like 11. He gets like a fantasy point per minute at least. And 20 minutes against Utah, he put up 40 fantasy points. So if we can project this guy to get in the rotation, I think he's a great play here for GPPs, but it's just hard. It is Dave Yeager. You never know. They do have Costa Kufas off the bench as well that they do like playing, but Denver, the thing I'm kind of leaning towards Harry Giles might play is because Denver runs really big with Jokic, with Mason Plumlee, with Trey Lyles, with Millsap. So Willie Cauley-Stein, he definitely does get in foul trouble a decent amount here, and then Kufas, Harry Giles. I definitely would prefer Harry Giles here. So I think if you're making multiple lineups, maybe take a shot with Harry Giles. He does have huge upside when or if he gets minutes. And then Jokic. We saw what Nurkic did. I recommended Nurkic against the Kings. He put up 82 fantasy points. So then you got Nikola Jokic here in the same matchup. I love targeting players against the Kings, so I do really like Jokic today at 9.8. Capella at 6.9. Again, it just seems like a lot of these guys on the slate are underpriced. Capella, especially here, 6.9K. Should play 35 plus minutes in an up-tempo game. So I do like Capella a lot here. Cauley-Stein at 6.5. I think he's going to go pretty under-owned here. And Denver does run pretty big, so they might need him to play as many minutes as he can handle. So I think Willie Cauley-Stein is going to go under-owned, but you could take a shot there if you wanted. And Millsap, if he's going to start, I would like him. Plumlee, it's just with Millsap back, he's just not going to play like the 30-plus minutes he was earlier. He's going to be kind of limited to like 20 or so minutes. Priced at 5K. I think I'll pass. And then Jakob Poeltl here. Did pick up a start, played 20 minutes, got you 16 fantasy points. If he picks up the start again, you definitely could look his way at 3.5K. And yeah, I think that's basically it here. Yeah. So yeah, there's honestly a lot of different ways you could go on the slates. I would recommend keeping it light and only doing GPPs. 3 games, probably too small for cash games. But yeah, a lot of like the Spurs and Toronto game, I think it's going to go kind of under-owned, but a lot of those guys seem underpriced. And then you got Houston, Golden State, Ken Harden, keep them in it. If Houston is, like, if they keep it close, it's going to be because of a huge game from Harden, who seems underpriced at 11K. And then you got Denver, Sacramento. I love targeting players against the Kings, but you got a basically a fully healthy rotation for Denver. So yeah, it's basically, it's kind of a tricky slate, but there's, like I said, I like it because there's a lot of different ways to go. So yeah, I think that's going to do it for today's video, guys. If you have been enjoying the content, please like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps me out. It's also important to follow me on Twitter. I will put that in the description below. I will give my thoughts as more news comes out throughout the day. So definitely important to follow me there. And I'll be back for a big slate tomorrow on Friday with another video then. So I will see you guys tomorrow.